And we're now 7 o'clock. So we'll call this meeting the Carmel Correction of the Valley Center Planning and Zoning Board to order. Appreciate that. Angie, will you call roll, please?
Gary Jansen. Paul Spranger.
Present.
Brian Shelton.
Present.
Rick Schellenbarger.
Present.
Mike Wade.
Here.
Mike.
Here.
Cody Maddox.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to now ask for a motion to set the agenda as you have received it. I'll ask for a motion.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? Seeing none, motion passes. Please so record. Then we'll move on to, we're going to ask for a motion to approve the minutes. And these are the minutes of May 25th, 2021. If there is anyone in the board would like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Anybody have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
SP 2021-02. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. It is great to stand before you this evening to present this site plan application. This is a very exciting time for Valley Center, a very exciting project, one that's really going to transform the community development. As you'll recall, at the last meeting, we approved the replat of Leakers. This is the next step for Builders First Source. Now that the replat has been approved by City Council and will be filed, this is the next step in their expansion project of actually getting approval to continue with the expansion and build the 5 proposed buildings, along with laying further asphalt and then putting up fencing. As noted in my staff report, everything has been met as required by the City of Valley Center in terms of our standards. I presented, along with the staff report that was sent out, presented the plans, which you see before you now, as well as renderings of what the overall site will look like once construction is completed. Again, this is a pretty substantial expansion. What Builders First Source is doing is combining and condensing their operations right now. They have their operations here in Valley Center, as well as a location in South Wichita. Those operations that are currently in South Wichita will be moving here to Valley Center, which necessitates this expansion. Again, this will be largely held off from the public. It'll be fenced in. So this isn't going to be a high pedestrian or traffic area for the general public. Again, and nothing will change in terms of the 2 entrances as they exist right now. There will be some changes with the future Meridian Street project, but that will be approved by city staff at that time. The idea is that they will realign the northern approval of this site plan, contingent on approval to hopefully come to a resolution. Plan, we are recommending approval, of course, and then on approval of the final storm sewer layout. So I will stand for any questions. And as always, with us this evening, we do have the applicant, Randy Jackson, who is representing Builders First Source, as well as Sean Bryan with Caw Valley Engineering. As is tradition, at the opening of the public hearing, I always invite the Planning and Zoning Board to invite the applicant to come up and spend a few minutes addressing the board as well. But I'll stand for any questions that you may have first.
The board. No, seeing none.
Okay.
Seeing none, at this point, we'd like to open the public hearing. And of course, we'll note the time at 7:04. So those that are in the public and wish to speak to this, please come forward, state your name and address, and your interests, concerns, or appreciation for the project.
Good evening, folks. My name is Randy Jackson. I live at 202 North Tanner Trail Court here in Valley Center, and I am representing the Builders First Source applicant on this. Basically, we've discussed it in the past. Do you have some of the renderings that you can pop up? Cool. We've discussed in the past, and we have completed some 3D renderings with the help of our architect. Going to give you a better look. For the most part, what you're going to see on the main building is not going to accept a color change and a sign a little smaller than what the Leakers was, but there will be, a sign on the front of it. The sign that's along the street will be using the same frame, the same pole. Everything is going to be the same. It just changed the name on it. It'll get a fresh coat of paint and an upgrade. The building, there will be 5 buildings total, and what you see in front of you now is kind of a landscape of what it is. We've done everything we can to try to keep the look and the appearance from the road very, very clean. Keep anything that's, lumber, storage, etc., all away from the Meridian project, and work with the doctor also, Dr. Unruh, to make sure that his property is well maintained and looks good. So other than that, if you have questions, I'm here to answer them and be happy to visit with you on it.
Thank you very much. Any more questions from the board for the? No? Any questions?
That the new buildings that are going to be put up, that's all concrete around them?
The new buildings, the largest building is 50 by 260 foot, and it has a concrete floor, and it's all concrete around them.
Okay.
The other buildings have concrete footings, but the pavement around it is going to be asphalt.
Okay.
So there are about 4.5 acres of asphalt that's going into that.
Drainage wise is going to go toward the street then?
Now, all of the drainage is going to the retention pond that's behind the Leakers facility.
Okay.
So even the drainage that's coming off the backside of the building, which faces Meridian, we're doing drainage work to get that all to go to
Okay.
the pond, the retention pond that's behind the Leakers
Yeah,
facility.
I was wondering about a retention cons, I didn't see it on the
Yeah.
Argus retention. So.
I guess I would have one question. From the rendering, there's no parking lot lighting. You postponing any parking lot lighting, or just
No,
don't
there's-
feel you need it?
We're actually utilizing the exact same posts that are in the parking lot today from the Leakers. Apparently.
If you don't need it,
Architect didn't put them
don't
in
need
there,
it, we
but,
don't need the plate. Yeah,
We'll be utilizing the
Hmm.
exact same posts that are in there. We will be revolving them with all LED lights. We're actually changing every fixture in the facility to go LED to be more energy efficient across the entire board. Trying to make it to where it's lit up, but yet not
offensive.
to the community.
You have any thought or knowledge about what Kelvin that lighting's going to be when you go LED?
I don't. I can get that information for you. I know that I'm sure it's on the specs that are on the electrician's plan that's been approved, but I don't know what those are.
Okay.
Not off the top of my head.
I'm just thinking about, where you're going to spill out into the residential area that's close by. Whether it's,
The goal is to not spill out into the residential area, and we will be also on timers.
oh,
We may
good.
keep the very front of the building just for theft reasons and, that type
Right.
of stuff. We may keep it lit, but all of the lights in the parking lot will be on timers. So they're not going to be on all night long and spilling out into the area, as will the front signage. We're going to light it, but we also want to stay fairly dim. We want it to glow. We don't want it to beam. So, and it will be on a timer also going off every
That's
early in
great.
the evening.
That'll really improve the streetscape.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. Any other questions from board members?
I do, Ryan, I think Ryan had mentioned some fencing. Where will the fencing be and what will the materials be?
The fencing is actually starting from the front building on the south side, and it goes back along what would be the Sheridan Street. That's kind of the proposed Sheridan Street that's on the south. Goes along there and then cuts across our property and connects in with our current truss plant. There will also be fencing that goes from our current truss facility over to the new facility on the north side, connecting those, keeping anybody from getting to the back of the building at night. and it will all be 6-foot high chain link fence.
Similar to what you already have at the
Yes.
trust facility.
With the fencing is noted on the site.
Okay. Any illumination in the outbuildings for for lumber or products?
There will be illumination available in the outbuildings, but the intent is to only use when needed so that it doesn't, or again, become a public eyesore having this great glowing
Right.
light out there. We will run them on photo cells, but also timers so that they don't light when they're not needed. But we will work also with the Valley Center Police Department. They have, some concerns with having all that material back there. And if they would like to have the lights on, we'll leave them on during the evening.
Right.
So they have that viewing, but not to where it's going to be an eyesore.
Perfect. Very good. Any other questions from board members? Got an opportunity. Thank you very much for making that presentation. I'd just like to ask if there's anybody else in general public that'd like to address the project. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing at 7:12 this evening. And then we'll move on. And we'll ask the board now if they've got any questions of staff in terms of this project, just after hearing the public hearing. We're a pretty quiet bunch. Okay, all right. Then I guess we're going to ask for a motion for the application. We have do I hear a motion on this application for approval? Need a motion?
Motion for approval?
I would so move that we approve. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I need a recommended motion.
Okay, we'll take those as for recorded.
No.
No, myself.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
So again, that approval is contingent upon final approval of the storm sewer. Just so everyone's clear. Steve, can you? And then again, say contingent upon approval of stormwater. Storm sewer alignment by cities. First says based on city staff recommendations. We'll just read that. That's for the public record.
Based on city staff recommendations, public comments and discussion by the planning and zoning board. I make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
SB 2021.
SB 2021-02.
Okay, we'll second. Yeah, that very much true. There is that contingency. And the applicant is in agreement with that, following through with staff on that. So no problem. Okay, you guys probably have it pretty well worked out, but with staff engineering would like to have an opportunity to make sure that it's meets all requirements. We've gotten advice from staff that's pretty well worked out. So we'll take that on faith that you guys will make that happen. So it is continuous approval. So we now have, at this point, I think we've can close the fact that the project is approved, subject to, and will staff be coming back to us with that? When will we be coming back to us that workout?
First, you need to vote.
Okay, very good.
You have the motion to approve and
Yep.
the second. So if you want to go ahead and vote.
Yeah, we'd like to vote now. Okay. And all those in favor of this particular petitioner, which of course is SP 2021-0. In favor, just raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, this motion passes, the approval passes. And
Yeah, Paul, to answer your question, More than happy to share with the board once we've gone through and just have done the final approval. I'm more than happy to let everyone know.
Yeah, please
Via
do.
Email or at the next meeting, however you prefer. Sometimes we always want to keep the ball rolling and make sure that the applicant can.
That's fine.
continue forward in the development, so I'm more than happy to let you know when staff has given that final approval and share that.
All right, very good. All right. From what we see from staff report, there's no new or old business on the agenda tonight, unless there's someone here that wishes to bring something forward. No?
The only thing I have is, if you will, just please keep a hold on your calendar for July 27th.
Okay.
That's the next scheduled meeting. Applicants have until next Monday. Next Monday is the deadline for submission. I have not received any applications as of today, but we still have a few more days before that deadline, so we're hoping to get some applications in. There are a few things pending. So I will for sure let everyone know, but if you can, please keep a hold for July 27th for now.
Fantastic. Okay. Do any of the members at this time want to bring something forward to the board in terms of an item, issue, or concern? Everybody comfortable with the July 27th date? Thing we all agree that at least those present will be present on July 27th. At this point, I'll ask for, unless you got anything else from staff, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn. And the time now is 7:17.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion. Second. We have a motion, and a second to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. We are technically adjourned for this particular meeting tonight. And appreciate all those people who have come and also the people that would take the time to view and follow the board, both in planning and in zoning. So with that, we'll say good evening.